I thought I would chronicle a day of working on songs. So one thing I have to do is close the windows because of the noise. I usually make a tea. There's the tea, which inevitably doesn't ever have enough sweetener. So then I sit down to start working and I have to go add some. Okay, then it's good. And then I get back here to sit down to start, and then I have to take a poop because I just drank the tea. And then we'll start. But then I have to, because this is a closet, this is what it looks like. There's everything that I use. There's clothes that I take out. I don't take them all out because I keep some for like insulation, sound absorption. I choose one of these things. Either this, if I'm doing vocals, because this squeaks against the door in there, but this one feels better on my back for long periods. And since today I'm not doing anything seriously vocal-wise, I'm bringing the ball. And it just barely fits in here with the door closed. So that's where it is so far. Now guess what? I have to take a poop, so I'll be back. So sometimes when I'm recording, I have to actually like open the fuse panel and shut off the hot water heater because it creates a buzz. I also have this little thing that goes under the door to prevent sound. There's always kids playing outside and stuff. I have this keyboard that I use for, it's very mini, that I use for sounds and drum parts and stuff, and that's what I'm working on today. I also have the Wi-Fi in here that I always unplug because it's really close to me during all this. And I use a little drive here to keep everything on because the computer just doesn't have enough room at all to even hold a project. But usually I put this under something because you can actually hear it in the mic when I'm doing vocals, like a little bit. And then I also usually put the song taped up here with the chords and the lyrics. This song is called Thought I Was Ready, pretty much starting from the beginning. I already have the song and everything, but I've never produced it. There's only like a guitar version. I have trouble recording guitar. It doesn't really ever sound right, especially because I use a lot of MIDI sounds and then combining the guitar. I'm still really new at production. One thing too is that I don't have speakers, so I only use headphones. I use these Sony headphones, which I did get partly because they're not supposed to bleed into the mic, but they do bleed a little bit. I don't necessarily like the fully enclosed sound, like where you can't hear anything else. You can't hear your voice. I know a lot of people record with one earphone off vocals, but I don't really like doing that. It sort of throws off something in the resonance, or everything sounds flat or sharp when I'm doing that, so I don't do that so much. So far I just laid a bass line and a drum part, but I don't like them, so I have to start over. Every time I start a new song, pretty much, I feel totally out of my element. Like, I don't know how to do this. Like, it's a big mountain I'm about to climb. I'm an imposter. I don't really know how to use the equipment well. It takes a second for me to actually just get myself to start. And then I sit and I'll listen to different loops. I'll figure out the tempo. Once I set the tempo, I'm like, okay, we've begun. Like 89, we've got the BPM. I go through all the different sounds. I start writing notes in my little note thing and on the computer, like analog bubbles for the melody. Synth classics. So I write how to get back to it, or like short pulse waves, for a melody line. I would love to just only use live instruments. Some of these are like sampled live instruments, but because I'm always traveling, or I'm always kind of have a very small situation and I'm not the best player, I'm pretty much playing in MIDI, playing in drums, sometimes using guitar a little, but most of the time MIDI. That's also new for me. I never really used MIDI before. I do like the ability to make pop sounds. Like for a lot of the pop stuff that you would hear on the radio, it'll be pretty tight. Like it won't have that extra airy room sound. I still feel like the things I release are kind of like, oh, well, she's making her little productions, but I don't find all that much more in life to be immersed in that I can really get totally into and immersed in. So I just keep making stuff and hope that eventually somehow those little babies will grow up and fly somewhere. I'm gonna try to put a guitar line now. Just chords, like rhythm guitar. I recorded the amount of times I have to do this, it would be recording for like an hour. Not with the drums. No. No. I don't know how guitarists are so smooth. I mean, I know how they practice and stuff, but like how those in between, like they lift the fingers up just enough so it's not screeching from one chord to the next, but then they get it down fast enough. I know it's practice. I know that's the answer. I don't need your input right now. Oh my lord. I'm just not a guitar player. Like I can play guitar to write music, but when it comes to actually recording, being precise, it's just like, thought I was ready to see a closet filled with only my small clothes for now and forever. Another day in the studio. I have this little mic stand, but I don't really use it much. I got it this small because I figured I could put it on a desk if I needed to. And especially for guitar parts that I don't want to plug in and I want to use the live guitar, you know, I can't hold a mic while I do that. So I just have gotten used to holding the mic now, to the extent that when I put this in front of me, it just doesn't sound the same anymore. Thought I would just play a little. It's in such a baby stage. I don't have the headphones in now, so I'll just play it through the computer speaker. So really it's only now like a bass, a kick drum only, and like a couple little sounds, like, you know, and then there'll be a rough vocal. Thought I was ready to see a closet filled with only my small clothes. A huge part is finding out what other elements to the drums, like the rhythm track, you know, is it going to be like boom 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 boom? I don't know yet. This one's harder. I'm not as quickly coming up with little sounds. I tried adding the guitar. It didn't sound great, so I scratched it for now. It's funny how there's a new shirt every day because things just change and laundry's done or whatever. This is not my shirt. It's annoying, but I think I'm going to trash everything I've done so far, because I have just been sitting here trying to figure things out, try to figure out what to add. And I feel like part of it is that the reason why I can't is that the drums just don't feel right. So I've done several things, but I think that I have to change them all because they're so related to each other. Like the bass and the drums are so tightly woven together, and there's another melody part that is very tight with the drums. So it's not that often that I have to scrap it entirely, but this time it does kind of feel like that's what I have to do. New shirt, new day. So I laid down some drum parts to this new version, and I just want to acknowledge that all throughout making songs, I can reach points where I just feel like I don't know what's next. I get overwhelmed, like I get worn out, and my brain gets fried, and I just keep going back to like, okay, we'll just do this one part, you know, just lay this one part down. You don't have to think about it like, oh my god, there's so much more to go, but just like, just put the bass part to the chorus now, you know. And so that's how I handle a lot of life, because I get overwhelmed fairly easily, or I just get worn out fairly easily. I think I have some sort of like energy deficit in general since a few years ago. I don't know if that's just aging. I kind of think it's not. I kind of think I went through some sort of burnout, and that's part of it. And so now I'm just more cautious about my energy and like when I run out, and making sure I have enough food and water and those kinds of things. At this point, I noticed having that feeling of like, oh my god, there's so many parts to do. There's so many aspects to the song. I'm not going to know how to make what I hear in my head happen there. And sometimes that means there'll just be like acknowledgement of limitations, and I'll do what I can do, but it won't be exactly what I'm wanting. But I just am fine with that at this point in life, because paying mixers and paying producers, and that whole thing has proven to be very tiring over the years. And I know at some point, I'm sure I'll just meet somebody that clicks and it'll work well and we'll complement each other, but I haven't found that in recent years. So I just accept where it's at and do the best I can and just like complete a song, thinking like all these songs are probably like toddler versions of the songs, and maybe somebody will come in and say, hey, I want to complete this song in a bigger way, or I have ideas, and then they have more knowledge about how to make something really clean and sharp and more produced in a more modern sounding professional way. Day 847, I can't really find exactly the stuff to add over the top, like all the counter melodies that make songs, like in Every Breath You Take, there's that boom 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 boom, and that kind of makes the song. And so I really like finding those little counter melodies, but I don't always hear them right away. So I'm just gonna put the finished vocal down and put all the background vocals, and hopefully that will give me some ideas of what to add over the top. I'm just gonna play it a little bit. I don't know why it's so low. To see a closet filled with only my small clothes. So I'm going to lay the vocals. But I'm going to eat first because that takes a lot of energy. Thought I was ready. Thought I was ready. Thought I was ready. Thought I was fancy free. Jesus. Bitchy. So much crap. Easy. So much crap. So much crap. Is it Texas? Is it allergies? Is it something I'm eating? It would be easy. Shit. It would be easy. I find now that like what makes it sound better is the quieter I get. So if it's not sounding right, a lot of the time I'm just like, okay, do it quieter. Do it like I'm whispering in a lover's ear. For this, I want it to have, it would be easy, like a little vibrato and easy. It would be easy. Not just, it would be easy. Or a lot of vibrato, just like 2 or 3 little. Trying to control this thing, like when there's crap in it, or when I haven't been gigging, so it's like my voice isn't as fit. It's just not as fit. It's not as fast. It's not as hardy. No. It's like a drummer that hasn't been playing for a while, so at first you're not going to, the way your brain to your arms is not going to be as on it. To keep repeating all the reasons why. It would be great if it's just one take. I think I also write songs that are difficult to sing vocally, like it's really fast or it's like tiny little things that I want to hear, so sometimes I change it eventually, but not yet. It would be easy. I didn't do it. It didn't happen. It's so hot in here. I'm doing a sort of open door fanning. This is for the nighttime because I want a light on, but I don't want it that bright, so I hang it up there, so it's like this little tent. So I'll send you a video of me dancing naked. Like, I don't know how to do, I want it to have like, I wrote a couple friends and said, what do you do to make the vocal sound like it's trailing off into a cave, basically? And so one of my closest friends called me and explained, and I really appreciate when she does because she and I have similar language, and it's not really like the technical names for the buttons and stuff, but she just walks me through what she has figured out to sort of put that kind of sound on vocals. So I wrote down all those instructions, and I'm going to try that today. And then I'll start attacking like more instrumentation. Cause now I'm on it, kiss in the grocery store, send you a video of me dancing naked. This is sort of the sound of it now. And now system overload. System overload. That happens near the end when I have so many tracks and my computer just can't handle the amount of things going on. I haven't really mixed it fully yet, but I added like a melody line. Thought I was ready to see a closet filled with only my small clothes. So I hear that the vocals are too loud in comparison to everything else, so I'm gonna have to go back in and lower the vocals and somehow mix them with the other sounds. Pretty much completed, thought I was ready. I finished the recording. I did the best job I could with mixing. Mixing is such an art in itself, getting all the different levels balanced and the vocals balanced with the drums and all the different parts of that. There are many programs you can put it through, and that's something I haven't totally ventured into yet, so I just kind of do my best and listen through several different types of speakers to see if it's mostly balanced, because there are all these platforms now and they all kind of have different specifications, and I want to try to generally get it so it will sound similar out of all of them. I usually shoot a video, which we did last night, for each song because it's just more fun to have images and stuff going. So I did that and I'm editing that now. And basically once that's done, then I just put the song out, and that's the end of that process. This one was particularly full of blocks, like roadblocks came up, and I appreciate you watching if you've made it this far. I definitely noticed that I got frustrated throughout this one. I wasn't having as many clear ideas throughout it, but I still really like completing a cycle once I've begun it, so I did that, and this is almost ready. Appreciate you watching. Bye.